Hi, my name is Natasha Perez. I will be going over navigating campus. I will be going over the hook and why we chose this topic and the problems with the campus navigation. And we made a survey, and I'll be going over the survey results, our solutions and conclusions. So, how many times have you been late to class simply because you couldn't find the building? Me, myself, I have been late lots of times. Well, even at the beginning, mostly in the beginning, because at the beginning, well, I've never been here. I started in summer of 24. Yeah, summer of 24. And I could not at all find my buildings. I had to get the map and I had to circle like which way I had to go, like from where I was gonna park, all the way to like the class that I had to go to. But it didn't show me the exact class. It was just like the building. So to find the classes where I was getting late to, because I had gone upstairs because it was a second floor. It was a second floor class, but no, it was a first floor class and it had a number two. So I was like, oh, it's gonna be upstairs. So I go upstairs and I didn't find it upstairs, so I had to go back downstairs. By the time I went downstairs, it was just so hectic because there was people also there, and I just could not find it. It was so bad. Yeah. So I was late, and then, like it was a small little classroom, so the door's right in the front of the class, and like you have to walk in front of like the professor and get into your class. I feel like that's so embarrassing, but that's what I had to do, and it was just so bad, so bad. The problems that I will be going over are campus nav campus navigating. Many students, especially freshmen and transfers, struggle to locate classrooms, buildings, or campus resources. This leads to them showing up late, missing parts of lectures or lectures entirely, even causing stress. So, like for me, I was a freshman. It was my first ever time being in campus besides orientation. But in orientation, they really didn't teach us. They were more just they didn't tour us. They more took us to like the buildings that they needed us to be at, because since you go like break out into different groups. That's what most the orientation was. So we didn't really get a full tour of what every like all the buildings and everything. So it was just very bad. And well, I'm not a transfer, but I'm pretty sure it's way worse for transfer students because like sometimes you can come late. I had a group member who came late and didn't come to orientation, and it was just she couldn't find anywhere, like all her classes. So it leads to having stress or being stressed or like just late in general. Like you can't go to your classrooms. I know maybe there's some professors that once you're late that you can't go, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. Missed events and frustration. Confusing directions can cause students to miss important events or feel discouraged about getting involved on campus. Um, I don't know if it's an event, but when I was in fall 2024, I had a classroom who my classroom professor who, if you're late to one of the tests, they won't let you go into the test like anymore. Like if it was at 8 in the morning and you had till 8:10 to go to his class, and if you didn't get to his class on time, like you couldn't take your test no more. So you missed a whole test because you were late. And for some of his tests, he would change it to different um classrooms. So it was just like I couldn't find it. So I would be lost. And I missed two tests. Yeah, two tests of his because I was lost. And also for a final exam one time for my math class, it was in a whole different building, like they were so far away from each other. And it was like a classroom that like it's so hard to find. I was lucky because she came in late, but like if she would have gone in there in time, I would have been late, and I don't think she would have let me took my test anymore. Um, oh, our solutions. Um, One of the solutions we thought would be very helpful is the campus activity boards and the student engagement. We thought maybe they can do like a day like before classes starts, that they do like a little event and they all go have groups set up. And if you take them your like your schedule or something, that they take you to the classrooms or they take you to like or give you like a route that for like a route to go to. Maybe like I think that it could be very helpful or definitely like I'm so sorry. Have like a it's like an event. Yeah, mostly just like an event where you go ask and they can take you to their classrooms or something like that. I think that could be very helpful. Another thing that I think would be helpful would be tours. Maybe like also in the beginning of the school before it starts, or like or during like no, because it's mid. Yeah, like in the beginning or like during orientation, like give actual tours to, oh, this is this building. You'll find classes here like this and like something like that. Like a little different because like I said in orientation, we just went to the buildings that they needed us to go to because we were broken up, like we had a breakout. And then we just basically stayed in the student union though. So it was just, I think it could have been better. Cengage and maps. I think they can add maps. I know they have some maps around the campus, but I know one of them is in front of, not in front, but like near the engineering building, like at the very beginning of that. Um, I think that's the only map I've seen. I don't haven't seen other ones. But I think they can just add more maps, like on the Bronx Trail, like add maps because I know they have signs, but I don't think, well, me personally, I haven't used them. Like I just went off the map and traced the map and try to see where I went. So I think that could be very helpful. Have like maps on the Bronx Trail where there's the pose, I guess, and just add what like the maps there, like put them to tape them on there and for the kids to go and find it. I think that's very helpful. Or the digital app. I know there's a digital app that has a like the map. Um, you search up the building that you want to go to, and it shows you where it's at and what's next to it, but it doesn't necessarily take you to it. So I think that they can make it as a I'm so sorry. As like Google Maps, like where it takes you walking to it. I think that could be very helpful also for students who like don't know where the classrooms are at. Um, we saw at Point Loma that well, I saw in Point Loma that tours, maps, and like well, I already said tours, but tours and maps can be very helpful for students because it can make them very stressful. It can cause mental health. It can cause being late to tests, like being late to different places, or like just late in general to their classroom. Like it's so embarrassing for you to walk into mid-classroom because you're late. Like it gets overwhelming because everybody just looks at you. Like even if they're not doing it on purpose, but if it's a noise, like you're opening the door, it's gonna draw their attention. So they just look at you come into the classroom mid-class. So it can cause like embarrassment, it can cause stress. It can just be very overwhelming. So this is a survey that we did. It's we asked students about if they've ever been lost. 80% of them said yes, and 20% said no. Um, we also said if yes, like what was the cause of the confusion? 33.3% people 33.3% said lack of campus maps. Uh 33.3 said no one around to ask for help. And 33.3 said parking or sin gauge. Um, Another question that we asked was, how did this affect, how did getting lost affect you? 33.3 said that, or said it did not really affect them. 33.3 also said that they felt very stressed. 26.7% said that they were just late to class. Um, I think that's very important because students themselves are telling you, like, they felt stressed, that they were late to class, or that it didn't affect them. But like a lot of students did say that they were felt stressed. So yeah. Um, we also asked if they attended orientation when they started new TRGV. 46.7% said yes and it helped, and 20% said yes, but it did not help, and 33.3 did not attend. So, well, I'm glad that 46.7% people thought it did help, but there's also a 20% of kids who it did not help. So I think maybe those tours would be better. That way it can help 100% and not just some of them. Um, Other questions we asked was how helpful are the current signs in the current campus map? Uh, 60% somewhat helpful, 20% said not helpful, and another 20% said that they haven't noticed them. So I think maybe making them bigger, the maps or signs could be bigger, because I know the buildings have like their names, but you can only see them like sometimes. I feel like they can make a big old sign and say what classroom it or what building it is. And same with the maps, like add more maps. Um, we also asked what would make it easier for them to find your way around campus. We put more campus maps, more tour guides, better internal compass maps, and better maps, NA or maps. Um, a lot of them said more maps. So we do think that's better. The conclusion, uh, getting lost is a common issue. There's lots of students who get lost. It's very common. Um, it's something I guess every college student goes through because, like again, there's hardly any maps. Um, we also discussed how poor campus navigation is, that it causes, and its causes and how the board and IT can help. Uh, we think IT can help by making the app more better. So I think that's what IT can help, and how the board can help would be campus tours and all of that. And then together we can make UTRGV easier to navigate for every student. These are references. Our survey was right there, and other websites that we used. Thank you.